Hi, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Round Robin. I'm your host, Tracy Preston, along with Christine Mulligan, Nina Mulligan, and Angela Hafler. Hey, everyone.
Hey. Howdy. Hello.
So remember last week I was talking about China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, or whatever his name was. Totally slaughtered it. I thought it was so weird. This week, the roof of the 600-year-old historic Chinese tower collapsed. Now, they said it collapsed. That was like on May 19th, 2025. It was in China's Fenyang County, and I watched the video of it. It didn't, well, I guess you could say it collapsed. When I think of collapse, I think of like the roof caving in. But it was like all these barrel tiles just slid like one whole side of this palace. It looked like palace to me. They call it a tower, but just slid right the freak off. And of course, there's people all over in there. Now, I couldn't see in because it's all walled off. But isn't that strange? We just talked about that.
That was a crazy video.
Did you see it too?
I did. I don't remember if they said anybody got hurt, though. I hope not.
I hope not either. But it was like, I mean, some people were kind of boot scooting out of there. But, man, I would have been running like a banshee. I thought they were pretty mellow about it.
The Chinese, they're always composed. Even when they're freaking out, frightened. Apparently, they keep it in control.
Right.
Those Americans, it would have sounded like screaming cockroaches.
Running with their arms flailing above their heads. That would have been me.
Yeah.
Shooting out of there like a cannon. Okay, so do you guys remember Jurassic Park? Did you guys ever get into those movies, right? Like, they kind of got a little cheesy. First one was always the best one.
Yeah.
So, you know, the whole premise is that they're using fossils to create dinosaurs. Guess what? It really happened, but not with dinosaurs. Have you guys ever heard of a dire wolf before?
Yep.
I was going to say, Angela, I know you know what it is.
Yep.
Game of Thrones also, right? So if anybody a fan of Game of Thrones? Christine,
yeah.
You did? Okay. So you know how...
Yeah, we know what it is. Yeah, and I heard about that a little bit. But did they actually do it yet? Or did they just want to?
They actually did it.
I've heard of dire straits, but I've never heard of dire wolves.
They're really big wolves.
They're massive. Like in Twilight?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well, those are werewolves.
Those are...
Those are werewolves.
That's true. Those are wolves. Well, are they werewolves or wolves?
They're werewolves.
Oh, okay. Well, and I guess the dire wolves are always white. So in Game of Thrones, I think they were all white as well. No?
I think so. Yeah.
No, they were. Well, not really. They showed them as being old. I mean, they kind of look like a husky. They have the white but then they also have the dark gray. That's what they look like. And there was only like a couple of them that were white.
Oh, okay. There's actually 3. This breed is over or at 12,000 years old. So what they did is they used genetic material from 2 dire wolf fossils. And they showed them on this video I was watching. I'm like, oh my God, they're the cutest things ever. And they all look fine. Like, they look totally fine, jumping around like sweet little puppies, totally cute. Now, the company that was able to reconstruct the complete dire wolf genome, and like I said, they created 3 dire wolf cubs, and they have the distinctive dire wolf features like the white coats, longer, thicker coats. Now, there was a professor of global Flinders University, and his name is Corey Bradshaw. Like, this is the guy who made all this happen. And I just was totally floored. Totally floored. That is like the craziest and coolest and I guess kind of the scariest thing all at the same time.
Well, didn't they already clone a sheep before? So I would imagine it wouldn't be much far off of that kind of technology. I mean, if you can clone a sheep, and as long as you're pulling DNA,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
you have enough.
They've already been doing it, have done it, will do it, and probably many, many things we have not heard about yet.
Look at the platypus. Somebody did that. Serious. That animal doesn't know what it wants to be. And on top of it, it's freaking venomous, like a snake.
It is. It's a very scary creature. I mean, who would have thought that?
No, but it's not. It's so cute. Like,
It is cute.
The babies, oh my God, they're so snuggly.
A platypus is just all the things.
They're just so cute.
They're all the things.
They're all the things.
But I mean, like, I don't know. I guess you're right, Nina. I mean, I guess it's just taking the DNA, but I just found it just kind of floored me a little bit that they just sucked that DNA out of a fossil, made it happen.
Yeah, I'm sure Jurassic Park wasn't that far off. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
Right.
like, though, on some level, I don't know.
Come
The thing
on.
is that I think that that's cool. But do I think that we should bring back things that were already extinct way before we got here? I think we should leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine brontosauruses and T-Rex just walking the fuck around? Oh my gosh, we are killing the rainforest as it is. Could you imagine dinosaurs now consuming all of the rainforest
And the peoples.
And the peoples.
Now they're going to eat the people.
Well, not the brontosaurus. They only eat the leaves. But what I'm just saying, like, I feel like there's a reason why if we were going to clone something, it should be from, like, this life cycle. Like, say there was this thing called, like, the blue heron robin or something, right? And it went extinct within our geological time here in America, right? Then we could probably bring that back.
Well,
Because it went extinct because we killed it. Like the environment.
That's what scientists are doing with all endangered species to some extent, you know? That's,
Yeah, but not dinosaurs. We don't need pterodactyls.
True.
We don't need...
Oh, but they're cute.
Oh, that's in movies. I don't think they're going to be real cute in real life, okay?
No,
Like, I love that. They're cute, but I'm bigger than it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A pterodactyl's like the size of a Boeing 747. I don't think I'm interested in that just flying around my backyard, you know? I mean, that wouldn't make sense for us.
Could you imagine a pterodactyl poop? Like, do you think bird poop
Oh
on
my
your car
God.
is bad?
It would be like a bowl of oatmeal falling over your car.
Ew.
A car-sized bowl of oatmeal. Bowl of oatmeal.
Can you imagine cleaning it?
No.
Oh my God.
Ew.
No, just, would you even get out of your car, or would you just be a cocooned bird shit?
Like, it
Would you just be
encapsulates
stuck
your
in that,
entire
and
car.
Would you be able to open your doors?
I would think so, but after a while, once it hardens, no.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
It'd probably be like concrete.
Hello. At least for us, we live in Florida. If a pterodactyl shot on my fucking car, it would be a cooked bird shit in minutes.
I know. This is why we shouldn't bring back things that have gone extinct before our lifetimes.
Oh my God.
Whatever you would consider, like, I don't know, what would be the 20th century and on?
Well,
Not
what,
really the 19th century.
what has been extinct in our, in the 20th century or the 19th century that we could bring back?
Well, what century are we in now?
20th. We're in the 20th.
We're in the 21st century.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, go F yourself. I know what I'm talking about.
Go F yourself.
No, I love you. But
I love you, but
think
go
like
F yourself.
century, I mean, like, when did we start recording when things were dying? Like, that we were causing extinction? When did we start noticing that our presence was killing off, like, certain species and certain things? So from whatever time that is on, like, we shouldn't be bringing anything back that we haven't killed as a society.
So
Does that make sense?
are they extinct because humans are hunting them?
I think they're, well, in construction. I mean, we took over well, that's what I'm saying. Their stuff. We do that already, just like dairy farms. Like, literally, we're just recreating cows over and over again because we eat them. We already kind of do that crap. Yeah, but I'm just talking about things that go extinct because of our existence. Yeah, but cows would have went extinct if we didn't start
Eating them.
pouring them out to each other. And then yeah, but that's not the same thing as lab creating them. I mean, I don't know if that's the same. Well, they do the whole insemination thing 9 times out of 10. Because cows have souls. Trust and believe. Talk to a dairy farm that deals with the insemination. They will argue hardly that it's a science. I'm just saying. It's a science. But it's still coming from a cow. Yeah, of course. But it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from taking a slice of DNA off of a fossil and incubating it and all that crap. It's not really that. The technology, the science of it all is theoretically the same string of science. It's the same thread. It's in the same vein.
Extract it, throw it in a petri dish, and put a heat light on it.
And they do it with humans, why not,
That is the correct answer.
True story.
Yeah.
They do.
Didn't they create like an ear or something like that?
There was that whole hullabaloo about picking the sex of your child and how that was outlawed.
Oh, yeah. You can actually do that. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or at least you used to be able to.
Well, yeah, I think they outlawed it because of the whole ethics, right?
I think so, yeah. It reminds me of the movie with Uma Thurman and I think Ethan Hawke. Hawke, thank you. I think it was when they were married.
But like Ethan Hawke. Oh my God. You have a crush on Ethan Hawke.
Who has a crush?
Me?
Angela. She was like, Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. I just know the movie. It's a great movie.
Well, do you remember?
Super excited.
Well, I mispronounced it.
He's
I think
a little wimpy.
He's an odd looking character, I think. But that movie was
okay. Moving on.
but
it was a great movie.
It was What
movie was this?
Do you remember the name of it, Angela?
Don't remember the name of it. And there's somebody else who is in it. He's really good too. Hang on.
Yeah, well, you look that up. I'll explain to the...
Oh, that's the science one?
It's the one where basically everyone was being made perfect without illnesses, super fast. They could swim, they could run, they could do all this kind of stuff. And Ethan Hawke was not genetically created. He was...
Yeah, okay.
Do you remember it now?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember it now that you're describing it.
Yeah,
that was a good movie.
I'm going to have to revisit that one. I totally forgot about that. I just remember... Gattaca, thank you. I just remember he was swimming a bunch. Because he had to practice, I think, so that he could, make time, keep up with the others or whatever it was. But, yeah, Gattaca.
Jude Law was in it really good, too. But he had to, scrub his whole entire body so that they wouldn't find out that he was a certain...
breed.
He was... able to breed or whatever. It was weird. Crazy.
Yeah, I got to revisit that one. It has been, I think that was in the 80s. It's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. So I was flipping through some stuff trying to find some topics to talk about. And I keep seeing all the stuff popping up for Switzerland lately. It was like, I can't even pronounce it, so I'm not even going to try. But I just keep seeing all things about Switzerland, come visit Switzerland, pictures of the Alps, and, it's just amazing scenery. And this guy, he pops in, and he was like, would you stay in a hotel that was underwater? My first thought was, absolutely. Would you guys do it?
No.
No? Why not?
No, I'm terrified of sharks. Terrified. I just couldn't do it. A little claustrophobic. I think it would be cool.
It would totally be cool. I don't know if I would sleep soundly because I would be panicking that it was going to implode at any minute because of the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
But I almost did go on a vacation once where you had a room that was like underwater. It was like a tube and then like a little hallway, and then it opened up into a dome so you could see everything. I don't remember where it was, but we seriously talked about it. Me and my ex, years and years ago, we seriously talked about saving up to go because it was crazy expensive.
Right.
And we just never did.
Where was
but
it
I don't
at?
remember what that was.
At the Atlantis, isn't it? Isn't that like the penthouse thing room?
I don't remember, but I was intrigued by that before.
Because
So
I think Oprah stayed there at one point, and I remember her talking about it on her show, and I was like, "That's what you're describing." Like,
no, that was in a tank probably. That wasn't in the water. Like this was like in the water. It was definitely out of the country when we were looking at it, but I don't believe it was Switzerland.
Oh, okay. Well, I was like, like I said, I'm like, hell yeah, I would do it. Well, because this guy was like, you have to win the lottery to sleep there. And I thought, oh, okay, that's interesting. So he gets picked up by this guy in a boat. And, this kid's all nervous. He looks like a 20-something, what do you call him? YouTube. And, he's like all excited. He's got his bag and this and that. And he's like, where is he? He's like, oh, it's just right over here. And so as they start getting closer, I'm like, oh, that's nothing like what I thought it was going to be. Because I'm like, oh, yeah, if it's a fancy, like what you were talking about, Christine, like you got this beautiful dome and it's like you got water and fish and stuff all around you. Yeah, count me in.
Well, it's little. It wasn't beautiful. It was just cool because it was like a bed in a dome and a couch. And then you could see the ocean, from like your windows and the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't like luxury. It wasn't luxury.
Oh, okay. Well, this place was so rustic. It looked like kind of an old beat up boathouse. Right? And yeah, with like a 2-burner gas stove and, like this, you have to bring your own food. And I'm like, all right, so this is definitely a turn off. And I think he was fishing and I'm like, no, I'm not going to fish for my food. I'm not a huge fish eater. And rustic, like this thing looked like it was from the 70s, rustic, right? So then there's like a tube with a little ladder that you got to go down, which does not look very big. And then it's a very small bedroom. But here's the thing. It's like you can't even, like the windows are so dirty. Like nobody's gotten on the outside and scrubbed them clean. So it looks like there's just rust all over the windows. And the guy's sitting there.
Rust bucket.
Yeah, no doubt. And the guy's sitting there and he's by the window. He's like, oh, look at this. Look at this. I'm like, I can't see nothing. And then all of a sudden you see the silhouette of a fish come by. So that might work for you, Angela, because you can't really see shit.
Maybe I'm more terrified of that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, that would scare me. You wouldn't know what the hell it is.
Right. Is a shark going to bust through and, eat me? Like,
right.
That's my biggest thing.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, no, not this place. Not for me. Thank you.
Okay.
There was another place years ago that, my ex had his cockamamie ideas. There was another place, I want to say it's in the Grand Canyon, but I could be totally wrong, where it's like literally you stay in a place and it's right off the side of the cliff.
Oh,
girl, no, I don't know. Wait, like it's
Nope.
It's an actual building.
Built into the cliff.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen those. Nope.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to have to look it up because I remember that. And I was like, oh my God, I would just be dizzy the whole time I was there. I'd be like clung to the inside wall. That's way too much.
Yeah,
I'm with you there.
Mm-hmm, like you see these guys that, hike these humongous mountains and then they hang like a tent that legit hangs and that's where they sleep at night.
Yeah, that's bananas.
No. That's for a person who knows this is their last life cycle. So they're like doing all the shit just to like tempt the universe. Like, oh, you gonna take me now? I'm hanging out the side of the cliff. This is gonna be a cool story. You gonna take me now? Like, I don't know. So you gotta be a certain kind of
crazy.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but okay, we'll go with that.
You gotta be very nuts to do that. I don't want to lose my life. I want to keep it as long as possible.
Yeah, but like
I'm
those
with ya.
people that are into that stuff, they're like, oh my God, it's so safe because I'm literally wearing safety harnesses and safety lines, and you go crossing the street every day with no safety. Do you know what I mean? Just rules.
Perspective.
So technically, that they really feel that way. They feel that as long as you pay attention to the details, you are so much safe doing all the we think crazy things that they do. They believe they're safer.
Oh yeah, how are they gonna fight off a big ass hawk that comes and decides to just scratch them up while they're hanging on dangling?
I don't know.
I mean, did they even think about that? Probably not.
I don't know. I'm not claiming to have your sensibility. I'm just saying. I've spoken to an adrenaline junkie or two, and that's usually what they feel. That's legitimately how they feel about it. Is they're doing something where they know all the rules and they have all the safety in place for all the possibilities. Whereas most people walk through life knowing the possibilities, but no safety measures in place.
Yeah, I'm a freaking klutz. I would trip and fall out the window or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely, it would not be a good thing for me to do. Nope.
No.
So here's another one. I don't know if you saw this or not, Nina. Did you see any like little reels about this narco kitty?
Huh?
Narco kitty?
Narco kitty. Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar offhand, but
It sounds like a little game.
It sounds like a what? A game?
A game. Like Marco Polo. Narco kitty.
Hey, we got a new game. Now we just got to come up with some rules.
Okay, so what about it?
Okay, so this occurred in Costa Rica at the prison. There's like apparently all these trees, and through the trees, these officers noticed a cat like kind of making its way through the trees, heading in, trying to get into the prison to cross over, and they thought it looked a little weird. So they grabbed the cat, and apparently this is a smuggler cat. And I was like, that's nuts. They had all kinds of drugs wrapped real tight around this cat, and that's what I guess caught their attention. So I don't know if like they were on the lookout for it because they're like, how are drugs getting into the prison? And so they had all these drugs taped around this cat's abdomen and then wrapped them in some kind of cloth or something like that. So they got all the drugs off the cat. The cat was fine, but they still sent it off just to make sure everything was okay. But who the hell trains a cat to smuggle drugs? It's pretty smart.
Prisoners?
Right.
With nothing better to do.
they got all the time.
Well, it was going into the
You
prison.
got nothing but time. Shit.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know, man. Prison in Costa Rica, I bet it's hotter than shit. Costa Rica's hot and muggy.
They train cats at that show at SeaWorld. Have you ever seen the Pets Ahoy show? They train those cats to do all sorts of things.
Pets
so
Ahoy.
it's definitely possible.
Are they pirate? Is it a pirate show?
It's the SeaWorld. So, of course, they have, like, everything about the ocean.
Uh-huh.
And they named the show Pets Ahoy. You know, like the otter show or whatever. But it's not an otter show. It's about saved animals, cats and dogs. And I think there's even a guinea pig in it. And they make them do, like, people stuff. So they're on a stage. And, like, there'll be a trainer on the stage with them, a human trainer. But sometimes the human trainers leave the stage, and then on the stage, it's like acting out scenes are dogs and cats.
No way.
It's bananas. Yeah, Google it. Every time I would take my kids to SeaWorld, we would always have to go to the Pets Ahoy show because that was my favorite part. It was like, it was amazing to see what all these dogs and cats can do. It was amazing. And I think maybe even a squirrel. Well, there was a rope. Maybe it's a ferret or a squirrel or something. Like they would run the flag across the stage.
Well,
I mean, it was really cool. Google it.
I will.
You should see.
I will. I haven't been to SeaWorld for, over 20 years, I think. Yeah, about 20 years.
Yeah. Well, It's not what it used to be. I mean, it is exactly what it used to be, but at the same time, it's not what it used to be, because times they have a change to where, as a society, we don't really, I don't know, we're not totally down with the whole large mammals in cages.
Captivity,
Yeah.
Activity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not down for paying $50 for a freaking hamburger. That's what I'm not down with.
Captivity
Well, I'm saying,
schmivity.
Yeah. But the park used to be fun and educational.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just a little bit sad. It's still a little bit fun. It's still educational, but it's sad too.
Yeah. Did you guys see, I think it was
Black.
called, I think there was a documentary called, was it Blackfish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ever
Yeah.
since I saw that, I'm like, I will not support SeaWorld because you should not be, not have killer whales in captivity.
But they still do good business, and they still do good, conservational work. They really do a lot of conservational work that, you got to have something paying for that.
Right.
And educating masses on mostly animals that they saved for one reason or another. You know what I mean? Back to what we were talking about, the pets, the cats, and the dogs learning tricks and putting on a show by themselves. They all came from the parent. You know what I mean? There's not one purebred on the stage.
There was a trainer that was killed. Did you ever hear about that? And I watched the whole thing. They captured this whale. And this lady had been working with him for years. And I guess it was just showing signs that, and they just kept blowing it off. And then, boom, I was like, oh, my God, how horrible.
When they start to age, they get dementia just like we do. And a lot of dementia patients can become aggressive.
Yeah,
as
they can.
part of dementia.
Mm-hmm.
You see that also in the chimpanzees. They are great until they aren't, and then they'll eat your face off.
We'll see, but that's not only...
It goes with aging.
Right, but that doesn't only just go with aging, which is
keeping
a problem.
Animals in cages.
Incarcerated, right.
Anybody would go crazy.
Exactly.
In that, yeah.
There's many studies that show people in captivity that are solitary, which is what these whales are. I mean, a million humans can get in a cage with them. They're not other whales. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So these whales are in solitary confinement for so long, they're going to go mental.
Well, and the area that they have to stay in is not even a little scoop of what their natural habitat is.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's forever just around and around and around and around. I mean, that would drive anybody nuts.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Yeah.
No matter what species we're talking about, if we're talking about them and they have a brain, there's simple facts that we are now very fully aware of that shouldn't be overlooked. It shouldn't be ignored.
They're highly intelligent mammals, and they travel in pods. They're never alone.
Yeah, and that's the problem, and I totally agree with that problem, but at the same time, unfortunately, I don't think they'd survive out in the wild. You know what I mean? So they release the ones that they have. They're all born in captivity, the ones that they still have.
Yeah.
At all the parks. All the parks only have whales that were born there. Do you know what I mean? Or born at one of their parks. What do you do with them? So do you keep the parks open and keep educating people and even to the bad things about having it? Own your shit, right? Educate people even to the bad things, but then explain, but what else would they do? We feed them fish by the bucket loads. They're just going to go to a dock somewhere waiting for somebody to feed them. They're not going to know how to, rally around, and this one gets the 12, and this one gets the 3, and this one gets the 6. And then when we click 3 times, you're going to, hit the pod with your tail. You know what I mean? We know that because they've taught us that about whales in the wild. But those whales don't know about that.
True.
The ones that were born in SeaWorld, they don't know about that. They didn't watch the same documentary. You know what I'm saying? So what are we going to do? We're going to let them go and then they're going to die.
Yeah.
They're going to die anyway. So why don't we own our mistakes, keep feeding the whales, do whatever we can to exercise their brains, never leave them alone for too long, learn from some of our mistakes. But we're responsible now, so you gotta stay responsible. Yes, you can, and keep that park going, and you keep paying for their fucking buckets of fish.
That's why the tickets are $50 a pop. Right?
Exactly. Because not that many people are going anymore. So now and I think they're actually like $89 a pop.
That makes more
for
sense.
The tickets.
Because they
She
have
was saying $50 for
a burger
sandwich and a soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably can't pack a lunch and take it in. They probably like, no.
No, they don't let anything in. No food, no liquid, no nothing.
And I'm already too big up top, so it's not like I can cram stuff in there. It just would be insane at that point.
We have
It would just be too much.
You have a crevasse. You
much.
can tuck it in. You have something you can tuck it in.
I mean, that's like a handful snacks worth. And you're not putting a lot of stuff up in there for that long. It's just too hot down here in Florida.
Yeah. Okay, so joining the long list of stars in the heavenly skies this month, we lost George Wendt. He is the guy who played Norm on Cheers.
Yeah, we were there the day he died.
Yep.
We're at Cheers.
No way.
Yeah, it was so crazy. We went there when we were in Boston. After dinner, we drove over there, went to the little store and checked it all out and everything. And then we had texted a picture of me standing underneath the sign to our friends who are from Boston, so they've been like, oh, show us what you're doing or whatever. And he's like, oh, yeah, Norm died today.
And we were like, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Because it's something that she really wanted to take me to because I love that show. When I was growing up, and we kind of shared that in common. So it was a nice homage.
Yeah, that's super crazy that you guys were there. But guess what else? He sounds like he really preferred a bar in Michigan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's called the Stony Lake Inn. And supposedly he was like, yeah, this is my favorite bar. So, I don't know. Boston, he got nothing on Michigan.
There was just a TV show. The bar itself is not even actually called Cheers.
I know. What is
it just has the sound of the show.
Yeah. What is the name? But the bar is actually there. Does it resemble the bar in the show or no?
Yeah, the entrance does, and then they have an upstairs area that looks like the show. But the bar itself, like the working bar, doesn't really look like the show.
Oh.
It looks more like any old other pub. An Irish pub.
Well, I just found that interesting. I'm like, really? It's like Kevin Bacon. All things come back to Michigan. What do they call it? It's like 7 Directions, 9 something. Have you guys ever heard of that with Kevin Bacon?
7 degrees of separation.
7 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
I know, but it's 7 degrees of separation. And they made it into 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Bacon. Yum.
I freaking love
I was doing
bacon.
the same thing.
I love bacon.
Do any of you guys have any issues with like inflammatory issues?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Inflammatory.
My Joni.
Oh my God. What did you just say?
My whole body inflammation. Hey, no, I'm just talking for real science here. I'm in perimenopause.
Right. So I came across a list of 7 foods that should be a staple.
Unfortunately, inflammation's a pretty staple with most people that are doing things and overworking themselves as they shouldn't. But I couldn't stop giggling because when I think of inflammation, it's a brain.
You think of penetration.
Hey.
Oh, shush.
I whispered it.
Loud enough.
What? Oh, I thought it was pretty quiet. Okay.
I definitely heard it. It's a good thing the show's explicit. That's all I gotta say. Well, I came across 7 foods that you guys should have. Anybody who has any inflammation issues. Coffee, and I'm like, that's number 1. I'm winning. I have almost a full cup every day.
Same.
Yep.
I think that's why I need so many shots of espresso.
But is that black coffee because if you're using creamer, that has sugar, and sugar causes inflammation.
Yeah, black coffee.
So it has to be black coffee.
You have to drink it black. I don't drink mine black unless it's ice.
Yeah.
Me either.
It's got to be
Well, then
ice.
you don't get from all the anti-inflammatory properties because you put dairy in it, and that gives inflammation. So you're kind of canceling yourself out.
All right, so I canceled
drink
out.
it black.
I canceled out on number 1. All right, number 2 is garlic, fresh garlic, and I use fresh garlic in almost everything I make.
Yeah, I think we're all. Yeah, I think we could all safely say we're good on the garlic.
There's no such thing as too much garlic.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Right.
I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Number 3 is extra virgin olive oil, another thing that I use all the time.
Yeah.
I actually take it by the spoonful. I just love to pour it in my mouth.
Ew.
You know,
Yeah, bitch.
No, I'm serious. It's like a fat bomb. It's like a fat bomb. It's keto.
Yeah,
It's a good fat.
Yeah, I hear you with the way you said that. Don't do it again.
I just use the tablespoon. Hey, it's a tablespoon.
Okay.
Okay.
now do you buy, because I've seen things about people saying you should drink or should have like a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and it's for weight loss and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think you have to have like top shelf type olive oil, or is it any olive oil? Like, have you done your homework
It's
on?
really any olive oil.
Yeah, any olive oil. But, I mean, the closer you are to just a regular pressed olive oil. So, you know, the difference is where it's like extra light or a tasting oil. Sometimes those can be cut with other oils, or they just remove kind of more of the parts, more filtered, right? So it's going to take out some of the benefits that if you just went with just an extra virgin olive oil. So it should come in like a dark green bottle, and it should look kind of green when you pour it out too. You know, not like bright green, but like it should be that deep yellow color with kind of like that just glow.
Gotcha. So what type of benefits do you see out of it? Like, do you find that your digestion is better, your skin, your hair? Like, how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for a long time. I'm not consistent with it as much as I used to be, but all of those benefits. And I felt like it kept me more regular.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. It's shit slipping out of you.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like, but it wasn't a lot, you know, because sometimes people will take those like cleanse things, you know, and that's like a you need to be by the toilet situation. Whereas olive oil, it just makes it a little bit more comfortable to go.
So it's probably
you're not straining as much.
Right. So it's probably good for people who are constipated, like on the reg.
Or castor oil too, I think. Doesn't that help with constipation?
Well, any kind of oil
I think
actually
so.
would, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
most oils will really gunk up your system as well. So you gotta keep
Because
them.
they're lubricants.
You can also use olive oil for. You can use it for your face. It's non-comedogenic and it has the same pH as our skin, so it's actually really good for you.
Well, damn it. I always have olive oil. I'm going to have to start slapping some of that on. I'm down. So
I do when I'm cooking, not on my face, but I always put it on my hands. Like if I have any that sprays on me or whatever, I just rub it into my hand and I keep going.
rub it in and keep making that dinner.
Yeah. Yep. Because I'm going to wash my hands 80 times between every time I get something on them anyway. So I just rub it in for extra moisture.
There you go. All right, so let's move on with the list. So we have walnuts. Now, if they're raw walnuts, I'm not down with that. It tastes like deodorant to me. I like to saute them.
Walnuts. We were just talking about this earlier today.
Wild walnuts?
No, walnuts.
Raw.
She said wild.
No, I said raw.
Raw. Oh, raw. Say raw again.
Raw.
Raw.
You have something's going on with your ears.
What?
What's wrong with your ears?
I don't know. Oh, my God. Can I tell you a story? I'm sorry to interrupt your list. Hold on. So, the other day, I had a bad day for glasses. Like, I have readers, for whenever I'm looking at my phone or computer, I wear readers. So I have a bunch of pairs, as you all do. You go to the pharmacy and you buy like a 3-pack or a 4-pack, and then you can't find them. So you buy another 3-pack. So, and then all of a sudden you find a bunch, and you have some in front of the computer, some next to your bed, some in the living room, what have you. So anyway, I had a day that they were all just busting, but not like the arms. Right? They would be busting like in between where the nose and the cheek are. Like, how the glasses kind of sit there?
Yeah.
So the piece that goes over the nose is a little bit thicker. But then it gets thin again to go, brush across your cheek, right?
Yeah.
Well, right there, where the thickness started to go thin, they were all breaking right there. Like,
While they were on her face.
while they're on my face.
What?
Yes, it was really weird. So it was just a phenomenon. So two of them happened. And then later on, I had some sitting on top of my head, and the dogs, were roughhousing or whatever. And the arm, got a little bit wiggly. So I took it off my head, and I'm like, oh, these are fucked too, right? So I'm like, great. There's 3 pairs of glasses in one day. And I'm like, all right, we got to go get some more anyway. Because the ones that are on my desk in my office, they're kind of scratched up now. I have 3 pairs in there, and they all have like a scratch where my eyeballs easily see it when I'm scanning my screens.
Right.
So I said, we got to go or whatever. So Nina turns to me and says, what is wrong with your head? And in that moment, I had, when I tell you, an explosion of possibilities of what is wrong with my head. But none of them had anything to do with why glasses would break on my face. I laughed for like 20 minutes because I was like, nobody has just came out and said, what is wrong with your head? And they're like, oh my God, that's a very direct question. There's so many fucking answers. But I don't have time. So instead, I would sit here and laugh.
Well, what's crazy is that just actually happened to Todd in the same place. He was getting ready to go to work the other day, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, something's not right. And I'm like, what's wrong with your glasses? And no, he took them off, and I'm like, oh, your frame's broken. And his lens popped right out, too.
Yeah.
It's a
Hers
defect.
just fell straight out onto her lap.
And the thing was, the first time it happened, I told her, it just broke, just like that. Just broke. And she's like, yeah, whatever, you're fucking throwing them all over the place all the time. I'm like, no, I'm saying it right now. It just broke. Like I wasn't doing anything. And then later on in the day, when the second pair broke on my face, she was sitting right next to me, and we were reading something.
We heard it snap.
Yeah, and it was quiet. So we were both reading something, and it's quiet in the room. And all of a sudden, yeah, she was like, what the fuck was that? Oh my God. I was like, oh my God. And I took off the glasses, and I was like, another one.
Oh, my God.
And she was like, that was that sound? And I was like, yeah, on my face.
Hey, Christine, what is wrong with your face?
On my face.
Crazy.
It was really, really funny. But that was hysterical. But then later when I broke the arm, and then she just stone cold looked at me and said, what is wrong with your head? When I tell you, I was like a deer in the headlights, because my brain was on fucking overload. Like, so many things.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, we just got back from Salem, and we just had, like, our auras read and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So what if all of this glasses breaking is some sign from the other side? What if they're, like, ghost karate chopping you in the face? Like, listen, we're trying to tell you something. What are we supposed to be listening to?
I don't know.
What's the lesson?
I don't know.
You're going to have to go have another tarot card reading.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody's smacking me in my face. I'm getting ghost smacked.
Ghost smacks.
I'm getting ghost smacked on the regs.
Yeah, you are. Oh my God, that's too good. I can't wait to tell Todd about your glasses.
Yeah. Apparently, Todd got ghost smacked too.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God, so funny. Okay, so
All right.
Walnuts. Not
Walnut.
good for your
Walnuts.
mouth, but great for scratches on your furniture.
yes,
I don't like them. They're a little bit too meaty. And I don't like a nut to be meaty. I want it to be crunchy. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel like I'm chewing up raw cauliflower, okay? But then it's also nutty. It's just not a good combo.
you make it sound real bad.
But if you have scratches in your furniture, just take the walnut, run over. Voila, they're gone. They disappear.
Yeah.
Okay, I had no clue what you were talking about when you brought up the furniture. I'm like, is there some kind of polish made from walnuts? But you're
No,
actually
a walnut. Have you
no.
ever scratched wood that you didn't want to see the scratch anymore?
Yes.
Well, go get yourself a walnut and just take the walnut in your little fingers and rub it on the scratch.
Yep.
Just rub. The scratch fucking disappears.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the walnut.
Literally.
I have never heard of that.
Literally.
But in the walnut's defense, I will say that it does look like a little baby brain, which is super cute. And
Does.
coincidentally, it also happens to be very great for your brain.
Yes.
Yes.
So you should do that.
And the
You should
only
eat-
time I'll eat walnuts is if they're finely chopped into a brownie.
Yes.
Me too.
I will consume them then.
It's the only time I'll eat walnuts. Other than that, I can't do it. It's something that I can't really describe.
They're
the
bitter.
flavor. It's not so much the
Yeah.
meat. It's like I don't know. It's like a battery acid taste. Like you ever stuck your tongue on a 9-volt battery?
yes.
Yep.
You know that taste?
Yeah.
That
Yep.
is a little walnutty.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, I don't like walnuts at all until like the last few years. Just put a teeny tiny little bit of butter in a pan and like you roast them. Then they're really good. The flavor changes.
Yes, I do love when they caramelize walnuts in some dessert dishes.
Yes.
That's like what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, no, I guess.
that is better.
Yeah. No, what I'm talking about, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess doing it with butter, it doesn't make them sweet. It makes them savory.
Yeah, savory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had them that way, and I agree. They're more palatable. But
Yeah.
I just had an epiphany.
What?
Because I tried so hard to liken the taste of walnuts. And then I realized they taste like batteries, and they look like brains. So possibly eating walnuts is like a charge to the brain.
Oh, look what you did. I like it.
Yeah. Am I going to have to bite the bullet and eat walnuts more often? I don't know.
You're going to have to. Have Nina
Well,
Maybe
saute
a
some up.
walnut just inherently tastes better when it's warmed up. I mean, look at
Yeah,
chestnuts.
maybe.
You gotta roast them over. Yeah. So maybe it's one because it has a very hard shell. Maybe it's one of those nuts you're supposed to roast inside the shell.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
that's why it feels so meaty when it's raw.
Yeah, maybe that's the difference, like with tartare and a nice steak.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Tartare's, it's not the best. But then a good cooked steak is delicious.
True story.
Now,
Okay, yeah.
I did have tartare
I'm so-
once, and it was good. I didn't think I'd like it.
Yeah, it's good, but you can't eat it you can't eat it and fully enjoy it thoroughly like a steak.
I agree with
You know
that.
what I mean? You just do a little.
I-
You do a little.
I absolutely agree. All right, I'm going to finish this list and we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
All right, so far we
Okay.
have coffee. It's got to be black. Garlic, fresh. Extra virgin olive oil, walnuts, plain strained Greek yogurt, salmon, and oats. That's what you got to eat.
Oh, I
Oats.
thought oats weren't good for you.
It's number 7
I
on
thought
the
we decided
list.
that oats weren't good for you. Yeah?
Why?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know why I'm saying
because
that.
oatmeal is what you put
It's
on
not good for you, though.
on the outside.
Yeah, for inflammation. Okay. Yeah. All right, that tracks.
So what are you?
Yeah, but there's something in the body that oats is not good for. I think it might be cholesterol. I think it increases cholesterol, where a lot of people think that it decreases cholesterol, but I think it increases it. But don't quote me on that. I mean, so
Oh.
for our listeners, look it up. But there's something about oats that is not good for us, and I don't exactly know what it is right now.
Well, hold on. Okay, so I looked it up. It says oats can have both positive and negative effects on health. Here's some reasons why they might be considered bad for you. Digestive discomfort, blood sugar spikes. Huh, I would have never thought that.
Ah, yeah. Okay. So that's what it was. That's what it was. It was for the blood sugar.
Okay.
They're now doing studies because you remember when back in the day when we were kids, breakfast is, the main meal. It's the most important meal of the day, yada, yada, blah, blah. And it was really just a marketing campaign.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted you to eat the cereals and they wanted you to eat the oatmeal. And still to this day, it is still highly ingrained in us that oatmeal is better than cereal. But oatmeal actually spikes your sugars and makes you more susceptible to becoming diabetic.
I would have never put that together with oats before. Is it because of how you eat the oats, like what you put in it? Or the oat itself? That just floors me. I find that interesting.
I don't know.
The other thing that it
I
says...
think it's a starch.
Yeah, I mean, anytime
Yeah.
grain is supposed to turn into sugar.
Gotcha.
Any
Okay.
kind of starch.
Because-
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense now. The other thing it said here that's not good for you is it has a high phosphorus content. Who knew?
They can afford a lot.
There's more reason for the discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not good for people with end-stage renal disease.
Yeah.
Don't eat it. Now we have something to talk to our patients about. Hey, are you eating oatmeal for breakfast?
You know what, though? One of my classes that you take in school, to become a nurse is nutrition.
Mhm.
And it's like a whole big thing. And we really get into the nitty gritty of all these things. And there are some people that just connect with it, and they stick to it. And they're the people that become diet planner specialists. You know what I mean?
Right.
The thing is I never really clicked with it because I never fully believed or I never fully agreed with all of the things that they would be saying. Especially the oats, most of the time they'd be like, oats are great, oats are great, oats are great. But then oats turn out that it spikes your sugars and all these things, and it has high in phosphorus and blah, blah, blah. That's kind of how everything was. Everything in moderation is good, but anything in excess is usually always bad.
Agreed.
Except for you did have a few things on this list that they haven't found the bad things. But then again, even olive oil. If you eat too much olive oil, you will be a slip and slide for a digestive tract. You will not be able to leave your bathroom.
Don't drink a cup of it. Just a teaspoon.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not supposed to do more than 1 or 2
Yeah, I know, but that's my
tablespoons a
point.
day.
Anything in excess
Yeah.
Right.
is bad for you.
Right. Keep it in moderation.
It's all about balance. Oh, here we go.
I was
Completely
gonna
off
say.
topic of all my normal things, and we're back to my thing of balance. Everything needs to be balanced. The good, the bad, the ugly, the fattening, the skinny shit, all of it.
All of it. It's just like when women get, they do a little bit of Januvia. And then the next thing you know, they look like lionesses.
Exactly.
Just stick with a little bit and then walk away. Don't keep doing it.
Yeah.
It makes you look weird.
Moderation, people. Moderation.
I don't know. I don't ever think that injecting something foreign into your face is a good idea. As much as I love the idea, and I would fantasize about doing that because I'm just vain in that way, I really just, when it came down to it, don't think I could actually do it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, you'll try all the cockamamie natural remedies first, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
rather grow
Just don't
old.
know.
Yeah.
There hasn't been enough people injecting it into their face long enough to know what it's going to do long term. It just scares me.
Yeah, I
And what
agree.
we do know is not looking good.
Exactly.
What we do see is very reminiscent of a bicycle seat.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Bicycle face. You don't want that.
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
I would rather have a teaspoon of olive oil And in fact, I had the opportunity. So before Todd and I got married, I was going and getting like kind of like laser, but not. It was just a little bit, just enough to get rid of the dead skin cells on your face. And the girl kept trying to push Januvia on me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like,
The acid washes.
yeah.
Were you getting the acid feels?
Yeah. And she was like, and then she was talking to me about Januvia, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, she's, because of course she's clearly doing it, but I'm like, nope. I don't want any part of that shit. No. Because she's like, I can do it, this and that. I'm like, no, you won't. I bet you can. But you're not doing it to me. I mean, look at Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just keep picking them off the line. Ding, ding, ding. They're all starting to look really weird. Don't do it.
I had a dermatologist. Literally tell me, she's like, if anybody ever tells you to start Botox, she's like, don't. She says, unless you plan on doing it for the rest of your life. Because once you stop doing it, your skin is going to be twice as saggy as it would have ever been had you never done it. Because you paralyze your face for so long that you lose all of the muscle tone in your skin.
Really? I never even thought of it.
Literally droop. Yeah. Yeah. She's like, don't do it. She's like, I've put it in people's faces before. And she said, then I stopped doing it because I just felt ethically wrong.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that, Nina, because I know a lot of people that are doing Botox. And I know, in fact, there's a lot of younger girls doing it before they even need it. Like in their mid-20s, they're doing Botox. It's like, why are you doing this? And it's all about preventative, they say. Prevent. And I'm thinking, it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, at some point, I don't know. I guess I always try to raise my kids. It's fun to go get things done and have, make yourself feel good and things like that. But the more that you can do without, the better off you'll be. Because then you never have to worry about that, in your budget sort of thing. And so I feel like, what happens if all of a sudden you can't afford Botox anymore and you've been doing it for, you started in your mid-20s, now you're 35 and you all of a sudden don't have funds to keep up with it anymore. Now you're going to look like 45 or possibly 50 at 35.
Oh, that's frightening.
Like, I don't know. Those are the kind of things that I think about. I know I'm crazy, but I'm just like, I don't know if I would take that risk. Well, it seems great in theory, but there's always
a cost.
There's always a cost. Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Always.
Well, Nina, I think that was the best piece of advice. Who would have thought that?
Okay.
All right. Well, I think we should wrap up the show.
All righty.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Please keep liking and sharing on YouTube. We appreciate you. And the comments are coming in. I love it. So thanks, everyone. And we will see you all back on Friday for F-Bomb. Have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.